Hey guys, it's Mr. Possible. I just got done my workouts. I'm a little sweaty, but I did want to give you a video. This weekend I went and played tournaments. I played well. I did exactly what I went there to do. Unfortunately, I didn't make the satellite. I actually made very close twice, and I had a so-so session for cash. It was high variance. But during the satellite, something happened that made me want to do a video. So I played a particular hand where I bluffed a guy, and he got very angry, and he told me that I wasn't as good as a player as him, and he got very emotional. So and he seemed like a decent player. So I wanted to talk about why people do this and how it applies to life outside of poker, and how you can put this tool in your toolbox. So first, I'm Mr. Possible. I'm going to be a professional poker player in 4.5 years, and I believe that anything is possible. Any mountain, you can climb it. So in this particular hand, I made what I consider a really good play, and after he said that I was a really bad player, yada, yada, I did say, I just have a question, why would you ever tell a bad player that they're a bad player? Why would you ever tell someone something that you can use against them? And I can tell you the answer to that because I used to struggle with this myself. Someone would make a play against me and I would get very, very upset. And after I did some self-analysis, I thought about it long and hard. Why was I getting so upset? So let's say you want a person to be a certain way because you have a high percentage of winning when they are that way. So when they are that way, why do you get upset? If you know a person is always going to, call your bet, and they're always going to do it, but sometimes they get lucky, why do you get upset when they get lucky and then berate them? It's really interesting. And I used to do it myself, but I actually figured out what it is, and I think it applies to my life. I ended up applying to my life as well. I think it's that when they do this and then you tell them how bad of a player they are or how bad they are or what they don't know that you don't know, it's really you beating up on yourself. You're really saying to yourself, wow, I'm better than this. I should know what kind of player they are. I should know what kind of person they are. Yet I still did this expecting a different outcome. So you get really mad and then you displace your anger on the person who's doing just what they always do. I mean, it's like a dog. Would you expect a dog to act any other way than how a dog acts? So why would you get mad at a dog for acting like a dog? So once I learned that, then I started to say, well, wow, when I get angry, when I get mad, when I get, when I want to start to berate a player, it's really, I know that there's something I did wrong that I can correct and I can improve. So now when I start to feel that way, I kind of, self-reflect and say, let's get back to work, Ted, as the book now that I'm reading says, Kiss That Frog. Let's get back to work. I'm sorry. I am reading Kiss That Frog, but it's actually Eat That Frog that says, let's get back to work. So yeah, now it's let's get back to work and think about, well, why are you angry there? Oh, I could have done something better. And I think it's your self-conscious realizing you could have avoided this if you had done this, or you could have prepared yourself for this. So the next time you find yourself getting mad at someone who's just being the way they are, because again, people don't change, not without some great catalyst. But you know a guy who always does, always, cuts you off or always does something, then, expect it. Don't, and then figure out how you can use strategy to overcome that particular thing. But a warning sign, I think, is if I start to get mad at someone for the way they're playing, I really need to reflect inside and say, okay, so I know this guy's always going to call. Why did I make this bluff? Or, okay, I know that, this person is always going to act this way. Why did I expect differently? So there's a lot to do with attaching yourself to an outcome, which I am famous for trying very hard not to do, although I am human and sometimes I do it. And then it also has to do with some, deflection of disappointment in yourself. So if you can instead channel that disappointment and say, hey, what can I do better here next time? What's the lesson? And of course, as I told this guy today, you don't tell someone their weakness. I mean, first of all, I've learned two things about telling someone their weakness. The first thing is, well, if it's a strategic game, it's not in your advantage to tell someone their weakness. And the second thing is, no one wants to be told their weakness, and they really don't care. So it's going to go over their head anyway. So it's kind of like, telling them, talking to a brick wall. If they don't believe you, they're not going to fix it anyway. A person has to make that change on their own. They have to seek out that information. They have to want to make that change. So if you tell me I'm a bad player, well, first of all, it's going to go over my head. And second of all, why would you ever tell me that? Why would you ever let on, even for a minute, that I'm a bad player? Just like, why would I ever say, so-and-so does gossips all the time? I wouldn't. I just know they're going to gossip. And sometimes their gossip is going to get, somebody to believe something. And I shouldn't be surprised by it. And I also shouldn't be surprised that when a person I can't trust does something untrustworthy. So instead of getting mad at them, just use strategy and figure out how to exploit the situation. For example, if you can't trust someone and you can't trust them, then give them information that is going to get out. Or if you don't know if you can trust people by default and you don't think you can trust people, don't give them some huge amount of information. Just give them a tiny bit of information and see if it gets out. And that's just an example. But do remember that, and I have found now, whenever I get really angry about something in general that someone else has done, generally, if it's not an actual slight to me or an actual physical harm, generally it's because I could have prevented it. I'm mad because I didn't, foresee this coming. I didn't think of it ahead of time, and that's cool. So just what I do is just, okay, this is a lesson. I'm going to learn from this, and then go on with life. And don't be mad at yourself. I mean, you can't be perfect. I mean, every time you make a mistake is an opportunity to learn a lesson and to improve. And I don't know about you, but I love improving. Anyway, it was a great weekend. I had a lot of fun. I'm tired. I just got back to do my second workout. I did have to plan pretty thoroughly for 75 hard. So that was exciting. But again, I'm Mr. Possible, signing off for the night. Please like, subscribe, and share this video, and I'll talk to you guys again very soon.